Well, I'm another year older. I just celebrated a birthday. What have I learned? Keep living, baby. New Day Northwest starts right now.
It's a new day.
Now, from the Virginia Mason Franciscan Health Studio at King 5 in downtown Seattle, this is New Day Northwest.
Hello all, thank you for watching New Day Northwest. I'm your host, Kelly Hansen. I'm still not sure what time zone I'm in because of the jet lag. It really has a hold on me, but don't worry, I'm awake and I'm excited to be here alongside some fabulous guests this morning. First, let's bring in producer Alexis, who also just went to Paris back in the spring. So we're talking all things France, starting with maybe our favorite place.
Yeah, I mean, you tell me, what was the favorite place you visited?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I know I went to Paris first, but then I went to Annecy, and I've never heard of this place. My mom had planned this whole trip, so shout out to Carolyn doing the itinerary. Also, shout out to Rick Steves. But look at this. It doesn't seem real.
That's
it
gorgeous.
looks like the Sound of Music. We rented an electric boat. It was so much fun. The weather, extremely hot, but then you could jump in the lake.
That's
which is
incredible.
perfect.
It looks fake. All those photos, I'm like, is it AI? No, Kelly took those.
I know, true. It does look like a postcard.
What was the basic thing that you did that you think was worth the hype?
Ooh, okay, eating all of the croissants, I guess. I
agreed.
never got tired of croissants. And then also the Eiffel Tower. This was something that I felt like you had to do. It's like the Space Needle here. We went to the Tip Top too, which was a little more of an additional fee. There I am. After 200 tries, my parents finally took one photo that I was okay with giving you guys for that, but they're trying their best.
Was it scary up there? I didn't go all the way to the top. I was on the second level, and that was high enough for me.
Yeah, honestly, I don't feel like you need to pay. There were such big crowds to go, but it's the Eiffel Tower. If you make all the way to France, I feel like you have to go. I mean, come on. And the blue skies, look at that.
Oh my gosh.
Favorite thing I ate, the croissants. Let's
Definitely
be real. What do you think? I mean, did you love all the bread and the baguettes?
The bread. You can't go wrong with a little sandwich with the butter. But I mean, the croissants take the cake. I also had a really amazing duck dinner, which isn't for everyone, but it was fantastic. So I don't know, that was my favorite thing. But also we were talking about the power of just saying bonjour and how they really open up to Americans if you just try a little bit to speak their language.
I completely agree. I got some people kind of looked at me a little salty, and I realized that is a thing. You need to be able to say bonjour first before anything else. Don't start coming at them with, hey, I need a cup of ice,
Hello, hi. Yeah,
no.
I know, it was the same thing, and then it was fun to kind of be like them and be like, merci, au revoir.
Yes.
And just kind of be cute with it, and they really loved it.
It was a vibe. The fashion, the food, everything, and getting to spend time with my parents. So we'll have to reminisce some more, Alexis. Thank you. Of course. And now get ready for a breakfast of champions. They're a North-Sound restaurant known for their massive cinnamon rolls and the ultimate comfort food. And despite gearing up for some big changes, Maltby Cafe's co-owner, Tana Baumler, is here to cook with me today. Thank you for being here on New Day. Oh my gosh.
Excited to be here.
This is making me so excited. What are we going to make today? I think we got to get into it.
We are going to make a strawberry rhubarb sour cream.
Oh my gosh. Is this always on the menu?
It's seasonal. We are kind of getting towards the end of the rhubarb season.
Okay.
And so that's what we're going to do. It's still, you can get rhubarb, and I love rhubarb, so it's very good.
And I love everything that you brought for me today. I have not eaten. I'm starving. How can I be of help?
Okay. This is going to be your cook station.
Okay.
This is mine. So you're going to make the crumble topping.
Okay.
And so you will start by putting your flour and your sugar, brown sugar, and if you want a little cinnamon, just sprinkle some in, however much you want.
Okay.
Pinch here, there. I'm going to roll out the crust.
What is it like? Any secrets with your crust, or?
The crust we make with our, the basic flour, half butter, half shortening. We put vinegar in ours, a pinch of salt, and so,
And then you just kind of roll it out, I guess?
Yeah. So it has to be a little chilled. I made it ahead so that we can get it in the pie
I can't believe we're making a full pie today. This is happening. Do I put the butter in here? Did you say? See, or do I
mix that first?
Mix this first.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Getting it all together.
And,
okay, I think I've mixed it.
And a trick of putting your pie crust, if you fold it in half, and then go like this,
I've never seen that trick.
and then go like this.
Then it doesn't break.
Yeah, and then we're going to crimp it. And, you know, everybody does. I have a baker that makes beautiful crusts, and she trims hers in a circle, one of them. Another one just does it like this.
I like the rustic look a little more. It feels very like homemade. You know, it was made with love.
And if you have more dough on one side, you know, if you don't take time to do a perfect circle, you just kind of move it around like that.
I still can't get over your fold it and put it in there technique. That's really blown my mind.
And there's many ways to do it. I just take my finger and crimp it.
Oh,
Like
look
that.
at that technique. Very
And
nice.
there are so many. I mean, with 3 bakers, we all do it different.
Right.
And you know what? Because everything's homemade, it doesn't matter.
That's what I love about you guys so much. I mean, how long have you
As long
been
as
in your iconic spot for, too?
We have been there for 38 years.
38
Yeah.
years. And you were in the news with King 5 recently because you guys are moving. Tell me about that. I was freaking out about it.
So we're going to, we knew a year ago when the new developer bought the property that it was a possibility that we'd go down, so we had time to think about it, and they kept in contact with us. They told us that I'm going to dump in here flour, cinnamon, and nutmeg.
Great.
And a half cup of sugar, and I'm going to mix that. The thing about rhubarb is you can put anywhere from a half a cup to a cup, and whatever I like it a little tartar.
Yeah.
Because when you have your piece, we're going to have creme fraiche on it.
Ooh,
So-
okay. Do I put the butter in now? I've mixed
put
it.
the butter in.
All of
and-
it?
Yep, and then you're going to start. So anyway, I'm going to do my rhubarb. About 4 cups of rhubarb, about 2 cups of strawberries.
Ooh, look
The
at all
strawberries
that.
are going to make it more sweeter as it is anyway. So anyway, we had time to think about it, and they came back to us this spring with designers and said, we will be taking your building down.
Oh.
And so, but there was a lot of things out of compliance. It's an old building.
Okay.
The electrical, the plumbing, several things that need to be changed.
Right, it
and
makes sense.
we would probably be down like six months, you know, and I'd lose my crew. And so, you know, we're excited. Now I'm going to make the sour cream mixture, and that is just going to be a cup of sour cream with 2 eggs.
Oh gosh, I hope I'm not letting you down. The gloves I can't even put on. It's a mess over here. But I'm not going to let you down with the crumble.
You're tinier than you look, so I should have brought you a extra small.
No. That's, hey, I'll take that compliment. Thank you so much.
So we're going to mix our, and we're going to put in a little vanilla.
Ooh, is this like all like fresh like vanilla? I feel like I'm a buy at the pie crust type of girl, but
Yeah.
you know, maybe you're gonna
And
convert me.
pie crust is so easy. Like you know,
Really?
a cup of flour, half a cup of butter, and your shortening.
Okay. So
Teaspoon-
again, what's all in
teaspoon of
there? Sour cream.
Sour cream, egg, and vanilla.
Okay.
And so now we're not going to dump that. We're going to put that on. So here. So anyway, the good thing about these developers, they eat at our cafe. They have for many years.
No way, so they're fans.
They care about us staying there. They said one way or the other, whether we keep the buildings, we won't know for a year or not, you're going to be here. And, you know, so that makes it nice.
Yeah, you're part of the
So
community.
see, you fill that up all the way.
You did fill all that up. Okay.
That's right.
And then that goes on top there?
Mm-hmm. So then you just, and there's many ways to do this. You know, some people like to mix it all together. I kind of like dumping it on top, and I'm not sure why.
Because you can, darn
I
it.
can.
That looks great.
And I'm a dumper. You know,
Yeah.
it was harder for me to come up with a recipe.
I'm going to follow
give you-
everything that you do. This
And
is
so-
amazing.
My baker was laughing at me yesterday because I'm trying to figure out, okay, how many cups am I using? How many?
Well, there's so many amazing things that you can
Yeah.
make too. I mean, look at what else you brought. These giant cinnamon rolls, which are iconic. You're known for that. I see French toast. I see this delicious, like, breakfast comfort food. I mean, so many popular
these are,
items.
I brought a couple of our most popular items, and
Yeah.
people love our creme fraiche. And so we have cinnamon roll French toast, or we have this French toast,
Ooh.
and you know that's creme creme fraiche on top of it, and we sprinkle it with powdered sugar, but you know, it melts. It melted.
Hey,
And
I'm gonna eat all of this
is
and
our
enjoy
California scramble, and that has avocado and green onions and bacon, and that's wonderful. So we're going to, so what you're doing here is...
I'm not doing it right. Is what we're doing here.
I think you did really well.
Well, I appreciate you saying that.
And
I think it was a glove issue. I'm not going to lie.
I think
but
so. I thought
we look at the technique that you're doing, which
for
is
me
good.
not realizing how tiny your hands are. So
I just love you saying that.
we're gonna.
Okay, we're going to crumble that all on.
Yep.
How long does this bake for people at home?
Okay, so I would bake this without the crumble top for 15 minutes at 400.
Okay.
Then do another half hour at 350, and then put the crumble topping on and cook it for another 15 minutes.
Okay, and because of time, I feel like we got to cut into that pie over there and taste test.
And we are basically done with
And
this.
we're done. Look at you did
Yeah.
that all.
So
While you're
let's-
cutting into that too, tell me how this is going to your daughters as well.
So my daughter's Keisha, who lives here and who has been helping me run it anyway for the last 5 years. She is now I bought my partners out last year, and she is an owner.
Oh.
And
Staying in the family.
staying in the family. And my daughter Tessa will have a smaller ownership. She is on the out in St. Louis working for Boeing, and she is also an owner. And so, you know, it's kind of exciting. Now, we're going to put.
Oh,
You have your fork
look at
ready?
that. I got my fork ready. You know
Okay.
I'm ready.
So see, you have the custard in
Yes.
there, and the strawberries, and of course,
The main event.
you have to have the creme fraiche. And that's why in this I only used a half a cup of sugar, and you could even use less because you have the creme fraiche to eat it.
You're my favorite. Thank you so much for being here. Please come back. This was so much fun. You are the absolute best. Everyone check this place out. And there's lots more to come on New Day Northwest. After the break, the Alicia Keys musical everyone's raving about. We have the stars of Hell's Kitchen in studio. And later, these puppies aren't just adorable, they're learning how to help people with disabilities gain greater independence. Stay with us. Now to the hit Broadway musical inspired by the life and music of New York roots superstar Alicia Keys. Hell's Kitchen is a Tony and Grammy award-winning musical. It opened on Broadway in 2024 and has been captivating audiences ever since. Now the national tour has arrived in Seattle, where it's playing at the Paramount Theater, and we are thrilled to have two members of the cast joining us in studio. Kennedy Coggle, who plays Allie's mom Jersey, and Desmond Sean Ellington, who plays Allie's dad Davis. Welcome, stars, to the show.
Thank you for having us.
So thank you for waking up early and being here.
Of course.
How do you guys come down from like the adrenaline of such an iconic show?
Ooh, that is a good question. I do not like a nice little glass of wine from, you know. From,
I love the
from time to
honesty,
time,
yes.
You know, just a little, just to kind of like, But it's such a fun show.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, when you're having fun, you know, it doesn't feel like work.
That's true.
So, yeah.
And there's, you know, the lighting and the lights are so bright, and they're constantly in our face. When we're on stage, the one thing I have to do is turn down all the lights wherever I'm staying to kind of like
yeah, that is-
signal to my brain, it's, you know, the audience is gone, you're home, we're shutting down.
I totally get that, and I have a job too that doesn't feel like work. So, but you
Yes.
sometimes need those moments after of just being silent
Yes.
and being alone. In the show, we meet Allie as a teenager growing up in Hell's Kitchen. What is she searching for?
You know, I think Allie is searching for what everyone is searching for at that age, and also throughout life. It's like, what's that thing inside of you that needs to come out, that makes the world just slightly a better place, to help you deal with the world as it is, which isn't always pretty or kind, right? We need something inside of us
Yeah.
to fight for, and I think that's what she's looking for.
you
And she
both
finds that in
play-
music.
And she finds it in music.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you both play Allie's parents, so tell me please about the characters.
Yes, I play Jersey. So I play Jersey, her single mother raising her daughter in New York City. So she is no nonsense. She's tough. She loves hard, and she plays hard too. So you kind of get both sides of the gambit of motherhood with Jersey.
And I play the absentee, flighty father who's out, chasing his dreams instead of taking care of his priorities at home. So drama ensues. And we see what that looks like and how that affects Allie, even just on her search of herself, and as well as love. So it's just that beautiful kind of like coming of age story. And we like to tell people, like, this is, even though it's loosely based on Alicia Keys' life, but this isn't a fairy tale. This isn't all, and we all go merrily along. No, it's real life. You know what I mean? And you get to see what that looks like in the effects of a single mom, an absentee, father. We see a mentor step into her life and changes her perspective on life, and we see all of that in this one summer in '95. So
real, authentic, what we all want to see. How has it been working too with Maya Drake?
Oh, she's wonderful.
The superstar herself.
She's 19 years old and she carries herself like a Broadway pro.
Yeah.
And she booked it when she was 17. She hadn't even graduated high school. She's amazing.
We learn from her.
Yeah.
I'll drop a line and she'll just kind of like, go ahead, you got it. You got, I'm like, yeah, she's so great.
I can tell you all are superstars. And I want to talk about the music too. You both get the chance to perform some of Alicia Keys' most iconic songs. What can audiences expect?
They can expect their favorites that they know and love, and they can expect a few new songs that were written specifically for this show. So come see the show, because you think you've heard all of Alicia Keys' music, but you haven't.
Yeah, and even the songs that you're familiar with and that we've put a spin on them to move the story along to where you're like, oh, I know this song, and then it was like, wait a minute, I thought I knew it. I've never heard it this way before. So it's super fun. The arrangements are amazing. Music team and really came in and just like made this incredible show, and the whole soundtrack is music from her albums, as well as, like Kennedy said, new music for the show. So yeah.
And the pulse of the music, even if you're not a singer, for those dancers out there, woo! Our dancers are doing this 8 shows a week.
Choreography is
powerful
incredible.
choreography by Camille A. Brown.
Camille A. Brown.
Wow.
Yes.
I want to talk to you about your incredible vocal
Talk
control.
about it.
Yes.
Talk about it.
How did you develop this skill?
Honestly, I've been taking private voice lessons for a while now, but I continue with my coach. So I always warm up, I always cool down, and I had a very specific regimen to train myself for a part of the show called Pawn It All, where I hold an extremely long note. So I actually trained my lung capacity during our 6 weeks of rehearsal and tech in order to be able to extend. So it has. So it started out as one thing, and now it feels so that I can make it look effortless every night. That's my job. Is to recreate that magic 8 times a week.
Humble, modest, I agree. You have a new album though, let's talk about it.
Yes, I know, this is my first time talking about it.
Exclusive.
My album is coming out on Friday on all streaming platforms, called Just the Beginning.
Nice.
So if you love Hell's Kitchen, there's so many facets that you can come and see all of us in our own artistic merit. So that it's coming out this Friday. I'm very excited, I'm very stressed. And it's my first debut album, so I would love
What kind of
to hear
music?
it.
Like, what can people expect?
It's Broadway and Broadway pop adjacent.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's all your Broadway things that you'd ever probably wanted to hear me sing, and a lot of stuff from other roles that I have played. Plus some new music that has never been released before.
There's
that
the
is
tease.
Broadway.
Before we leave too, what do you think the takeaway with Hell's Kitchen, you guys, people that are obsessed with Alicia Keys and her music, but so much more than that.
Yeah.
I think the main point of the show is that you have something inside of you that needs to come out, that makes the world a better place. In order to find that, it's all because of love. Like love between family members, love between community. We all have to support each other and support us finding that. Because together, you can have a song, you can have dancing, you can have lighting, but it's all of that together that makes the story of humanity.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, y'all,
Our
for
pleasure.
being here. Such a pleasure. And don't miss Hell's Kitchen at the Paramount Theater, playing now through Sunday. And coming up, are you following any cool or funny accounts on socials these days? We always love a fave follow recommendation, and when we come back, I get to share mine. We love finding new social media accounts to follow, and when we do, we want to share them with you. New Day producer Susie is back with a few of her favorite follows, and I've also even got one.
Yes, I love it.
Okay, we're going to start with Dogs.
Yes.
Tell me more.
This is We Rate Dogs. Matt Nelson's had this for about 10 years, 20 million followers. People send in their dogs, and then he gives them funny captions, and then he rates them over 10. This is, I think, 13 out of 10. This is Cupcake. He's having some me time. He's a 14 out of 10. And then my favorite right here is George. He's trying Pecorino Romano for the first time. 14 out of 10. He'll never go back to pedestrian cheese. I mean,
he needs a 15 out of 10. But I love how they're all over 10.
So cute.
And animals just always make everything better. They make
do,
me tear up,
absolutely.
even though it's a palate cleanser and happiness on your feed.
Absolutely.
The next pick is actually my pick. Russ Too Funny is what it's called on Instagram.
Yeah.
Russ is a funny, quirky guy whose brothers secretly created this account and posted videos of him for 6 months. They recently just told him about it. The videos were really of him just being himself, so sweet and genuine, and the account blew up. Now it has over 250,000 followers on Instagram. This is all about being your authentic self. Listen in when he finds out, when his brothers finally told him what they did.
For the past 6 months, Travis has been videoing you.
Doing what?
And we created an Instagram account for you.
Let's go!
Almost 90,000 followers.
No! Let's go! Am I gonna like these videos? I feel like this is a dream right now.
Oh, let's go.
Let's go. I know you said watching this too, it made you kind of
It made me
feel
teary.
all the things.
I felt all the feels, and the whole idea of you were saying that he couldn't believe that people were interested in his life, which is a fun life.
It is.
It's a great life.
And he has such quirky, fun comments and just, I don't know, again, be your authentic, true self. It's enough.
Love it.
There's something completely different coming up next. Explain.
Okay, this Madison Lovell, she inherited her father's Tulsa home. She had not been in it for 17 years. He is a hoarder, and she kept that secret through her childhood. He was a wonderful father, but she decided to go into his home. It took her a year even to open the door, just for emotional reasons. And she went in, and we can watch her clean it out. And I know it seems strange, but she really shows us kind of what it was like to grow up with a father who still loved her, yet she emotionally, with this mental illness, couldn't reach him. And I have to tell you, when she goes into her childhood bedroom and realizes that he kept every tiny little thing, every dress, every paper, so you kind of go through it all with her. And it actually really is cathartic and really fascinating.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. And it probably just, I don't know, there's so much to unpack there, but now something completely different.
It's a
We're going
palette
to
cleanser.
Minis something, the world of miniature art.
This is Tatsuya Tanaka, and he's a master of miniature art using everyday items, and I love it. It is not AI.
This is shocking.
This is real. Daily moments of wonder. Look at that. That's a cauliflower that he puts tiny little things in. This, you will love this. I mean,
this is so interesting. It truly is art, and I love anything that is mini.
Why does that make us so happy?
It just makes me so happy. Thank you, thank you. You make me happy. And we're back after the break with a preview of the new Apple TV comedy, The Dink. It honors the popular sport that actually got its start right here on Bainbridge Island. Stay with us.
It's a new day.
Around here, pickleball is more than America's fastest growing sport. It's a source of pride. And now the sport that started on Bainbridge Island is getting the Hollywood treatment in a new Apple TV comedy called The Dink. Evening Magazine's St. Brian interviews the stars.
Tennis. She needs our protection. An epidemic is sweeping across our once great nation, and its name is pickleball.
Pickleball was invented just across the water on Bainbridge Island, and it is the official state sport of Washington. Do you think this movie is going to earn Washington a little more respect?
I think it's about damn time. I sure hope the Dink helps put Washington State on the map.
That's where it belongs.
That's where it belongs.
Pickleball has a reputation for turning, perfectly normal adults into ultra-competitive maniacs. Is it at all possible that some of us are taking the sport a little too seriously?
Are you a big pickleball guy?
Oh, yes, I am.
Yeah, well, it's good to be. I think it's nice, and it's the faster it gets serious, the more serious it will become.
My name is Dusty Boyd.
You're crushing these old people, Dusty!
In the Dink, Jake Johnson plays a former tennis pro whose disdain for pickleball is overcome by the friendship he forges with the people who play the sport.
You could be a great pickleballer.
Among them, Mary Steenburgen, who caught the pickleball bug in real life about a year ago.
It seems to me, having played for now 2 months, that the real secret to what makes pickleball so special isn't really the game itself, it's the community, it's finding your people.
I love that, and it is. And it took me a while in life to find people that I live near by that were close enough to play frequently, and I have found these lovely 3 Iranian women that are in the same kind of space as I am, and we laugh so hard. We have such a good time, and I love them. I love the camaraderie.
With tennis legend Andy Roddick on set, the pressure was on, so pickleball coaches were hired to help Jake bring his A game.
Jake, what was the part of your game you really needed to work on the most?
For pickleball, the ability to not injure my lower back a lot while I was dinking and squatting over.
Well, they say you're supposed to play 1 foot shorter than you are in real life.
What does that mean?
It means you have to be down.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, I couldn't see you for a second.
For all the jokes, the Dink isn't making fun of pickleball. It celebrates the friendships that keep people coming back.
Our favorite night was this night after work when the paddles were all passed around and our entire crew played under the lights at night. Like the prop guy was playing the makeup artist, and it was just a magical night.
You know, for somebody from Washington State where this sport was invented,
right?
That's a lovely thing to hear. That makes us proud.
Good. Well, thank goodness for those guys in the 60s, late 60s. Yeah, thank you for doing that.
Oh, I get it now. It's like tennis, but easy.
You're getting ready to lose.
I can't believe that this is happening.
Thanks, Saint. That looks like so much fun. The Dink begins streaming Friday, July 24th on Apple TV. And now, with the Seattle area hitting up around 90 degrees today, it's a good time to talk about more than just staying comfortable. Heat-related illnesses can develop quickly and become serious if they're not recognized and treated early. Doctor of Nursing Peter Creed with Optum Washington is here with tips to help you recognize heat illness and stay safe during this hot weather.
Well, thank you so much, Kelly. I appreciate the introduction.
Absolutely. Thank you for being here. Let's start right into it with who is at risk for suffering with heat-related illnesses.
Well, everyone's at risk for it, but the people that we worry most about are going to be people who are children, the elderly, those who have chronic health conditions like hypertension, diabetes, and heart disease, and we also worry about women that are pregnant.
What are some of the warning signs that we can look for too?
Well, general warning sign is you're just not feeling right. You know, you're getting a headache, you're getting tired, you're feeling dizzy, you're getting muscle cramps. You know, any way you're feeling out of the ordinary, it's definitely a sign just to take some time to relax and make sure you're staying well hydrated.
Absolutely. So important, especially with these hot summer days. How can parents too tell the difference between a child that maybe is tired from playing outside versus a heat-related illness?
Well, the most important thing is how they respond after getting some time to cool off and relax. If you're worried about your kid having heat-related illness, the best thing you can do is make sure they get a good break, make sure they get some good fluids, electrolytes, and everything they need to calm down and relax. If they're still having elevated fever 24, 48 hours later, then we would be concerned and have an evaluation for them.
Okay, make sure you go in and have an evaluation. And what can just people do, you know, any age to prevent overheating?
Well, most important thing is paying attention to the forecast. You know, today we've got a heat advisory. Yesterday was also heat advisory. So if you can limit the times you're outside to the mornings and evenings, that's going to be the single best thing you can do. Also, if you can make sure you're keeping yourself covered with light clothes, you want to avoid dark colors, and you want to make sure to spend time as much shade as possible.
Ooh, yeah. And I see people all the time walking around even with a portable little fan.
Oh, yeah.
Do you think that's helpful too?
You know, I think they're more gimmicks than anything really helpful. The most important thing to stay safe and healthy is staying hydrated and making sure you're not spending too long in the sun, but they can make you more comfortable on a hot day. If I'm stuck in the stadium watching the Mariners, that's a good thing to have.
It's true. I want to talk to you because you've been saying hydrate, hydrate, hydrate.
Yep.
But what should we be drinking? Because I bet there's some drinks that maybe make us a little more dehydrated than others.
Yep, exactly. And the important things we want to avoid are too much sugar and too much caffeine in our drinks. So avoid the Red Bulls, avoid the Monster energy drinks. It is important we also have electrolytes to keep us hydrated, which are going to be things like salt and potassium. So energy drinks like Gatorade, Powerade, those work great. Also, if you just have a little bit of fruit juice that you water down with salt, that's going to give you all the things your body needs to stay healthy in the heat.
Ooh, okay, so should we be doing this kind of proactively then before we start feeling like we have a headache and are feeling not the best as far as staying hydrated?
Definitely a good idea if you know you've got a busy day outside. If you've got big things to do outside like work, or you're going to go play pickleball, or you're going to go running, you want to make sure that you've got everything prepared ahead of time, and that's going to be an excellent way keeping hydrated.
And I want to talk too about people, you know, I see people out there running, exercising, just being out there. So what extra steps can we do to protect ourselves?
Well, biggest thing is one, you want to make sure you're wearing plenty of sunscreen. Our last segment with Frontier Dermatology did an excellent job talking about that. Again, we want to make sure that we're protected with lots of hats and other light clothing that keeps our body covered. Staying without clothing on makes us actually more likely to become dehydrated and overheat. So you want to make sure you are wearing clothes in the heat and giving yourself plenty of time to rest. Don't overexert yourself. You know, I'm not used to being in the heat here in this climate, and a lot of other people aren't too. So it's really important we listen to the signals our body's telling us, take that time to relax and not overexert ourselves in the heat.
Absolutely. Get out in the morning, get out at night. Stand near your AC unit. That's what I'm doing during these days. Any other key pieces of advice before you leave that you feel like are really important for our viewers?
Most important things to know is just trust your body and trust the signals that it's giving you. If you think that you need to take that time to rest and relax, make sure to listen to the signals. And if you have other health-related issues that you need to address and you haven't seen a doctor yet, I've got appointments available tomorrow in Totem Lake, and I'm happy to help you out as well.
Love it. Peter, thank you so much for being here. Very insightful advice.
Definitely, it's a pleasure to meet you here.
And to learn more about the medical services offered at Optum Washington, just visit the website that you see right there on your screen. And still to come, Mariner fan favorite John Olerud is here along with his wife Kelly to talk about a cause close to their hearts, Canine Companions. New Day Northwest is sponsored by Optum. Skin health goes beyond cosmetics and anti-aging treatments. With more than 3,000 unique skin conditions affecting people of every age, background, and ethnicity, it matters who you go to for help. Dr. David Malakuti, board-certified dermatologist and medical director with Frontier Dermatology, is here to share more. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks, Kelly. I am thrilled to be here today to talk a little bit about the world of dermatology and what that entails. As you mentioned, there's a lot of skin conditions to talk about. Dermatologists are expert in the skin, the hair, the nails. There's over 3,000 unique dermatological conditions, so there's a lot we have to get through today, actually. I hope everybody brought their notepads.
And tell everyone, too, about Frontier Dermatology and how you guys help.
So Frontier Dermatology is the largest dermatology group in the Pacific Northwest. We have over 40 locations, 120 providers, so there's a good chance that we have a location in your backyard.
And talk to me about biopsies, because you hear a lot about this when you're going in to get your skin checked.
Absolutely. So when a patient comes into our office, they're going to see some of these equipments that we have here on the desk. The most indispensable tool for a dermatologist are these two devices called dermatoscopes. Now, these function exactly the same, but they're made by different manufacturers, and they are able to allow us to look at a high level of magnification, 10 times magnification. Whoa. Allows us to look at the individual cells and how they're organizing, and to help us determine if we need to make a biopsy or not. The larger device is a similar functioning device. It doesn't have as high magnification, but it has special UV filters that allows us to make diagnosis for autoimmune conditions and certain infections.
This is so interesting, but what do you do if a growth is cancerous? It's not the word you want to hear.
Yeah, that's a good question. So a biopsy. A biopsy is when we sample the skin and we have it reviewed by one of our board-certified dermatopathologists. And based off the structure of these atypical cells, they're able to render a diagnosis of possibly skin cancer. Fortunately, the overwhelming majority of skin cancers have an excellent cure rate of 95 to 99%.
Wow, good. So you just need to get in early and get checked.
Exactly right. Exactly right.
And you also offer non-surgical options, which I feel like is important to note.
Correct. We have a state-of-the-art, non-invasive treatment for skin cancers called image-guided superficial radiation therapy, which is a mouthful. IG-SRT for short.
Okay, that's better.
Yeah, so IG-SRT, we use a high-resolution ultrasound to measure the depth of the cancer, and based off that characteristic, we're able to deliver the appropriate amount of superficial X-ray therapy in order to achieve a 99% cure rate for many cancers.
I love hearing these cure rates. Getting our moles checked, so important. We've talked about that. What should we be looking for ourselves?
Yeah, there's many different characteristics of cancers, but the most concerning ones are related to the ABCs of melanoma. So, Kelly, do you remember your A?
I do. I think asymmetry.
That's correct. A stands for asymmetry. That means if you draw a line down the middle, it should look the same on both sides. If it is different, then that does warrant extra evaluation. B is for borders. Moles are typically smooth and well circumscribed, but if you see scallop borders, if you see irregular projections coming out of your moles, we should take a look at that. C stands for color. Generally, moles are uniform in color, or maybe different shades of the same color. But if you're seeing a dark area and a light area and a white area, that would certainly be concerning. D stands for diameter, and that is about the size of a pencil head eraser, 6 millimeters. So moles larger than 6 millimeters should be evaluated. And the most important one is E for evolving, and that's when a mole is changing over a short period of time, even if it is changing from a normal looking mole to another normal looking mole.
So much to think about, but it makes it easy with the ABCDE that we just
exactly.
saw. You also brought some other things here, so I want to talk about reducing our risk. How do we, do all of that with the summer?
Yeah, these are some of my favorite best-selling sunscreens that are available at most stores. The most important things that you can do are your typical sun protective practices, like wearing sunscreen, wearing UPF level clothing, and avoiding sun exposure during those peak hours. In the Northwest around this time, that's about 10 to 4 p.m. Yeah.
Okay. What do you like about these products too?
So when you go to the store and you're looking for a brand of sunscreen to pick out for yourself, there's a few things I'd like for you to look for. One would be the SPF level. It should be at least an SPF of 30 or greater. It should say broad spectrum on the bottle. Broad spectrum means that the manufacturer has included a number of overlapping UV filters to give continuous coverage from the UV spectrum. You also want it to have some level of water resistance if you're going to be active, like if you're going to be going to the swimming pool or into the lake. You don't want that to wash right off. Now, all of these sunscreens have different functions. Some are more elegant to wear, some are tinted. That will allow you to maybe do some makeup over it if you need to, or you don't want to look really shiny and greasy when you're out and about town. And then others are really, really thick, like for your kids. I don't think they need to impress anyone so much.
No, and honestly, I don't either. As long as it's protecting me, I'm good with it. You are amazing. This was so insightful. Thank you for being here. And if you have a funny looking mole or a question about your skin, it is so important to get that checked out. Just head over to frontierdermatology.com and find a provider near you. And after the break, it's puppy time. Mariners legend John Olerud is here to talk about a cause that's near and dear to his heart.
New Day Northwest is sponsored by Frontier Dermatology.
It's a new day. My next guests include one of the top first basemen in Mariners history. He's a 3-time Gold Glove winner, an all-star, and a fan favorite during his 4+ seasons in Seattle. Today, John Olerud and his wife Kelly are here to talk about a cause that's close to their hearts. Their work with Canine Companions honors their daughter's legacy and helps people with disabilities gain greater independence. John and Kelly and a service puppy in training, Trevor, right here on New Day Northwest. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having us. We're really grateful to be here.
Oh, I can't wait to talk about this organization and obviously to talk about Trevor soon. John, we'll start with you. For those who are not familiar with Canine Companions, what can you tell us?
Yeah, no, Canine Companions provides service animals for adults, children, and veterans with disabilities, and they do it free of charge.
And free of charge, which is amazing. which is amazing. And so they're all over the country, and they free of charge. I mean, what comes free of charge anymore? So,
absolutely nothing. That is so amazing, the accessibility there. And Kelly, your connection to this mission is deeply personal, if you don't mind explaining.
Absolutely. So our daughter Jordan was born in 2000, and that's what we named our nonprofit, the Jordan Fund, after her. And she passed away in 2020 at 19. But one of her joys of her life was her service dog Baker, and he was such a blessing and a gift to her, and not only to her but to our whole family. We just really didn't know how much he was going to bring joy to our whole family, and our children, our other two children, were able to help raise service dogs for other people. So it was really cool to be able to be a part of that, just because our family knew firsthand what a gift it was.
And honoring her legacy moving forward
Absolutely.
with this work that you guys are doing is
Absolutely.
incredible. Jordan had a service dog like you talked about, Baker. So how do you explain, firsthand the difference of having a service dog for people that might not be familiar with the process?
Absolutely. Do you want to?
I think they just do an amazing job of training these dogs for cues on how to allow your child or whoever needs the dog to just be more independent, go out,
absolutely,
and do things, and then I just feel for the family. They're just such a joy to have. They become a part of your family, and so much fun for everybody. A lot of good memories just in interacting with the dog.
As we look at pictures of our family, there's dogs, Bakers in every picture.
Oh, I bet.
And I think it's also amazing, just to be able to see what they can do. They tailor the dogs to the individual needs of the person getting the dog. And so for Jordan, she couldn't bend down, like she couldn't walk. And so Baker would pick things up for her. He would sit by her, and he was really a bridge to the world around her, because sometimes it's intimidating coming up to somebody in a wheelchair. It just can be. And so Baker was a way for people to come up and interact with her. And so we'd have people come up and ask questions about Baker, and then they drew Jordan out that way. So that was really cool.
And then fun stuff too.
Yes.
Like Baker, we could train him to pull the sled back up the hill so that she could, ride back. So I mean, the things that they're able to train these dogs to do is just amazing.
Let's talk about the training, because Trevor here is in training. So what does that look like?
Go ahead. Okay, well, we can jump in together. Well, they start with volunteers. So up until 18 months, somebody will volunteer to train Trevor just basic tasks.
Basic commands.
Like sit, stay, different things like that. And then at 18 months, they go to a professional trainer. And then the professional trainer takes that to a next level. And then they really tailor the dogs to each individual person. So it's really cool. And they need so many volunteers. So whether you could do it for a weekend or 18 months, it's just an opportunity to just be how many people get chances to be a blessing through a blessing, because the dog's a blessing, and then you get to bless somebody on the other side of that. And don't you think it's just
and I would say Kelly is amazing with animals, but I was worried that I was going to ruin this dog the minute I got it, but by not knowing what the cues are or what the expectations were and maintaining that. But Canine Companions does such a good job of helping you and making that transition and just making it a normal part of your daily activity. So it's a really neat thing.
And they become a part of the family, like you said, and it's not just, drop off, figure it out. That transition piece is so important to have. So, because I totally get it. I think what you said is super fair. I'd be like, I don't want to mess this up.
Right.
You both touched on how it's free of charge, which is incredible. So how is that possible?
Well, it takes a village. I mean, I know they always say that, but it does. These are volunteers. There's organizations like the Jordan Fund that give financial grants to Canine Companions. There are corporate sponsorships, and we're going to talk about, come to the ball game on September 3rd, because even just purchasing a ticket to a Mariners game for Dog Fest, you are helping Canine Companions. So there's a lot of ways to be involved, and they need everybody from small to large. So everybody can be involved.
And let's talk about that, John. The Mariners have been great partners, I understand, with Canine Companions. So how have they helped, raise awareness for the organization?
Oh, the Mariners have been great. Okay. I mean, ever since from before I got to the team in 2000, they were doing calendars where they would raise awareness for the organization by, having pictures with players and putting them on calendars and that kind of thing. And the Mariners have just been great. We did Disability Awareness Day in July 5th, and they've just been super helpful with that and with, the Bark in the Park. So.
And then the Canine Companions came and were a part of Disability Awareness Day. And it was awesome because they had the therapy dogs there. And we had one young man that just spent his whole day just with the dogs. And he had the best time ever.
That would be me.
Yeah. So it was great.
How can people volunteer and help? You touched on this. It doesn't have to be, months to help. It could be a weekend. So how do we get it?
Go for it.
Hopefully I'll answer this right. I think, go to canine.org.
Yes.
And you can, whether it's a puppy raiser or other ways to help out, that would be a good start. But they're always looking for volunteers, looking for puppy raisers to get guys like Trevor ready to serve somebody that needs them.
Yes, and then come to the game.
There you go.
Yeah, that's easy. If you enjoy the Mariners, you enjoy a baseball in September, come to support Dog Fest, and Canine Companions will get a portion of all those tickets sold.
Amazing. Thank you so much to both of you guys. And we can't forget Trevor, our special guest.
Yes.
Don't miss Dog Fest, like we said, and Bark in the Park with the Mariners on Thursday, September 3rd. There's a pregame event at Victory Hall before the game. Thank you so much for spending time with us today. For more New Day fun, subscribe on YouTube and be sure to download King 5 Plus free. Don't forget to enjoy your new day. We'll see you next time.